Ever say something and just get a totally unexpected reaction? This kept biting us early in our marriage, and it took us a little bit to figure out why.
Coming from different backgrounds, that totally makes sense, because if you grew up with certain words meaning certain things, the other person may have grown up those same words meaning something completely different. Makes sense. But this could really affect one's marriage, and it really affected ours. One example of this was with the words, I'm sorry. For me, I'm sorry was kind of a way to resolve a problem. It kind of meant, I'm sorry that you're frustrated. I'm sorry that you're hurt or upset. It was a way that I saw would kind of just close the problem. Kind of the last thing said, I'm sorry, kiss and make up, right? But to Greg, it meant something
Yeah.
completely different.
To me, I'm sorry is like an apology, right? Like I deliberately did something wrong. I realizing that I'm a real scumbag. Please forgive me. It's an admission of guilt. So, how to apply what we're talking about to communication in marriage?
First of all, you want to be aware that you might not be speaking the same language. And in order to improve your communication, you want to be on the lookout for when there are possible disconnects in communication. Like I said, some phrases might mean different things, or if you say some words or a phrase that to you is completely innocent or something, and it might offend your spouse, then you might say, "Oh, I wonder if this, means something different to him or her." So it's good to investigate by asking questions to clarify exactly what each other is thinking. For us, we finally realized that this was happening when, out of frustration, I was like, Greg, why is it so hard for you to just say, I'm sorry? I actually asked that question because in my mind, I was like, I say it all the time, why don't you just say it?
Yeah. And to me, it's like I'm not going to admit to being guilty to something that I didn't deliberately do wrong, right?
And when he
Like
said
I
that,
wasn't trying to be the bad guy here.
he revealed to me what was going on upstairs, where the thought hadn't even occurred to me that he would be admitting guilt. So it really helped to ask that question, why can't you just say this? Or why does it bother you, right? And when he said that, I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense. If that's the way you see it, okay, that makes sense. So so what are some obstacles to figuring out that you're using a different language?
Well,
Some words mean different things.
I can think of two things, right? So one, it's really not obvious. It can be pretty subtle that you're not actually on the same page. So you need patience because this is frustrating, right? As you work through it, and you need vigilance, right? You really need to be on the lookout for it because we don't find things we're not looking for generally.
Very true. And it helps to have it in the spotlight. Like what we're doing right now is we're kind of calling attention to it so you can be more aware, oh, this might be happening to us.
Right.
Okay, that makes
And then
sense.
the other obstacle we've already talked about, which is not allowing clarification, right? You have to be able to clarify.
Right, right. It should be okay to clarify, which we've said in a different post, right?
In conclusion, we challenge you to be on the lookout for this. Be okay with explaining what you mean if the explanation is needed. Be okay with asking questions if something's not clear, right? If you just have that sneaking feeling that maybe you're not quite on the same page, explain or ask. And be patient with each other while you figure it out.
Sounds good.
And we'll see you
See you on
next
the
time.
next time.